the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. I'm Trevor Sikkema. That is Connor Rogers on draft week, baby. Connor, we made it. It's been a long time, my friend. You know, we just started this podcast in January, but obviously you and I and so many listeners out there have been following this 2022 NFL draft process for a long time, basically a year in the making, probably even more because of these prospects that have been playing for a long time now. But buddy, it is finally here. The final mock drafts, the final big boards, the final everything before Thursday night. I'm excited for it. How you feeling on draft week?
Dude, it's awesome. There's no better week throughout the entire year. All the excitement, all the build-up. You always get that last string of rumors the last couple of days. The odds start changing. Yeah, it's going to be mayhem. It's going to be fun, especially this year where I think it's safe to say the top 5 picks are as unpredictable as ever, starting with number 1 overall. So this will be a fun final NFL Stock Exchange consensus mock because you and I are going to work together on these picks rather than ping pong back and forth. We are going to try to come to a consensus of what we think is going to happen Thursday night. This
episode is going to be less of me versus Connor here in this mock draft. Players we like, things that we're hearing, going back to back on picks. And like Connor said, we're going to collaborate. We're going to try to put together the best predictive mock that we possibly can on a Monday. Like Connor said, there's probably going to be some surprises that happen over the next 48 hours, which if we have to amend those on the Thursday morning episode, then we'll do that. But I think this extra is going to be a lot of fun. And for those of you out there that are sick of mock drafts, because I've heard you, I've seen it in the comments, all these guys do is mock drafts. Last week, guys, it's the last week. And then we're going to get into a lot of fun stuff this summer scouting, little deep dives into a lot of these guys. But we got one more mock draft for you. And it is today. Before we get to that, got to tell you guys about our presenting sponsor, our friends over at Jock Market. That is Jock MKT. Their motto is stop betting and start trading. You buy and sell shares of players in real time for real money while the games are happening. It's such a cool combination of daily fantasy and regular fantasy sports, where you are buying not just like how teams are going to do, whether they're going to win or lose or cover the spread or anything like that, but it's player performances. So if you think a guy's got a juicy matchup one day, you can buy shares of his stock, if you will, on this market that they have over on their app. And you could say, okay, I'm going to pay $5 for 5 shares of this guy. And if he's the number 1 fantasy player that night, guess what? It might pay out $25 a share. So you're taking home some serious cash. It's a really fun new way to bet. All the shares have guaranteed cash payouts at the end of each night. Deposit with the promo code PFF for a 100% deposit match, up to $100 on whatever your first deposit is. And you get a free PFF Edge subscription over at Jock Market. That's jockmkt.com/PFF. Also check out their app. That's where me and Connor do a lot of our action. That is jockmkt.com/PFF. Also, if you haven't used the promo code draft50 over at PFF.com, what do you do?
The read reminded me to just check my phone mid-read to make sure I got my shares. I literally had an order. I had an order in today for Eduardo Escobar on the Mets. So that's how deep in this I am right now. And it looks like my 2 shares are about to go through. So we're having a lot of fun on the app. I keep saying it. I cannot imagine what this is going to be like when football gets going.
You got a little skin in the game for the Mets game. That's great.
Always.
I like to see it.
Like a little Sunday afternoon fun. You know how it is.
If you guys don't have a PFF subscription, draft50. Use the promo code. You will get 50% off an elite subscription. That is the top tier subscription over at PFF. It is only for draft week. Go do it. Draft50. Get that 50% off. Let's start this mock draft, buddy.
Let's do it.
Jacksonville Jaguars at number 1 overall.
Oh, man.
This is the big question, right? And I'll pose it to you, man.
Okay.
Independent of your rankings, and we're going to talk a lot about rankings and big boards on tomorrow's episode of the podcast, but it's predictive here. What do we think Trent Baalke and the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to do at number 1 overall? What do you think?
I can't believe I'm here, but I'm starting to lean Trayvon Walker. And you know from talking to me, Trevor, I was not even there last week. I kept saying it's got to be Aiden Hutchinson. It's got to be Aiden Hutchinson. I am the master of taking away nothing from press conferences. Even that press conference, I looked at it and go, man, why are you underselling Aiden Hutchinson? You have no reason to, even if you're not going to take him.
Yep.
I think they're crazy enough, or he is crazy enough to do it if he has the power to do so. Now, I went very 60-40 on this, so it can change in the next couple of days. And the good thing is, I would mock this Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, or Aiden Hutchinson, Trayvon Walker either way, where it won't destroy your entire mock. But man, I'm curious to hear what you have to say. I am leaning Trayvon Walker by a hair here right now.
I am also leaning Trayvon Walker, and I'd even go like 65, 35,
okay.
70, 30, man. Like, I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to pick Walker. And honestly, like, if they don't pick Walker, I feel like it'd be like an offensive tackle. Like, I follow some plugged in people who cover the Jags, and it just seems like Trent Baalke loves Trayvon Walker. Doug Peterson loves an offensive tackle option. I think they like Aiden Hutchinson, but I don't think they love Aiden Hutchinson. And I think you saw that at the pre-draft press conference. So I'm going to go Trayvon Walker here. And that sounds like we're in agreement with him going number 1 overall, right?
It does. And it makes number 2 really easy, right?
Super easy. Yes.
We know the Lions have loved Hutch since November.
Yes.
They didn't have to they did everything they had to do throughout the process, but they were pretty comfortable with him for a long time. So if this happens, Hutchinson will be the pick at number 2, and the Lions draft room will be jumping for joy.
Yep, I agree. I think that it's a lock that Hutchinson is going number 2. It would be who else are we even considering here? I guess you could theoretically consider Kayvon Thibodeau, but I've heard the Lions wouldn't consider him over Aiden Hutchinson.
I don't even think it's close for them.
The only other wild card is maybe Sauce Gardner. But again, if Aiden's on the board, are they really about to pick Sauce Gardner over Aiden Hutchinson? I don't think that's going to be the case. So let's go Aiden at number 2, which puts us at an interesting spot at number 3. What do you think happens at number 3 overall?
Okay, so this is one of the harder ones, right? And we've been eye to eye on Icky here for a long time, and I will comfortably say if I had to pick, I think it's Icky. I think this is one of the most unpredictable picks of the entire draft. I wouldn't be shocked to see them go Evan Neal instead of Icky. I wouldn't be shocked to see them surprise everyone and take like Derek Stingley or something. Like there's nothing they can do where I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe they just did that. You see it in the mock draft simulator on PFF, needs every position. There's a lot of players at premium positions that they value a lot. Obviously, Caserio coming from New England would value these press man corners with ball skills. He'd value the offensive line. He'd value the pass rush. He'd value a chess piece like Kyle Hamilton. But to not overthink it too much, Trevor, I think when all is said and done, you take the best player there is on this board, and that is Icky in my eyes for them in this spot.
So I think it's down to 2 players. Personally. Now, I guess that there could be obviously a lot more that's in the mix, but this is just what I'm hearing. I would guess that it's either Icky Ekwonu or Sauce Gardner, man. I'm hearing a lot of love for Sauce Gardner to potentially go number 3 overall to Houston. And so my vote would be Sauce. Is your vote Icky?
Man, right now I am more comfortable with Icky, but
it should be. That's the thing. Like, I think it should be Icky Ekwonu. But I feel like I've heard that it's not. I feel like I've heard that they're liking Sauce Gardner a lot.
That it wouldn't shock me, but I look at them trying to evaluate Davis Mills this year. No matter whatever you think of that, like if you think that's insane, if you think that's great, whatever you think of that, whatever the hell they have on paper right now in offense does nothing in your ability to do that. They cannot run the ball. They can't play at the line of scrimmage. They can't do anything. And Lovie Smith wants
to run the ball, man. Like when he got hired, he talked about, he said the words, I'm an old school coach. You got to score points to win the game, but that starts with running the ball and having an identity there. And Icky, I think, is the best person to be able to do that.
By far.
Lovie is, something I thought was interesting was Caserio at his pre-draft press conference. He said, well, I think he said a fool to not consult my coaches when it came to this pick. So with Lovie Smith being his head coach, a defensive selection could certainly be in the cards, and picking a shutdown corner could make a lot of sense. But let's go Icky. Let's go Icky Ekwonu. I think it really is. It's a toss-up.
It's close. It's really close.
Learn a lot over the next 48 hours with where the Texans might be leaning, but we'll stick Icky Ekwonu here because they do have a conviction towards running the ball a lot better next season, and Icky certainly allows you to do that. So look, you're front and center now. Jets at number 4. What do you think happens here?
I think it's pretty easy. I think it's Kayvon Thibodeau. I've heard that they are really comfortable with the person. He got to go visit them at their facility in Florham Park. I think that they see a ceiling on a player for a team that just doesn't have a lot of big-time ceiling players. They have a lot of low-floor player, high floor, low ceiling kind of players they brought in. So when you look at it with Thibodeau, you're looking for a game changer. I think they'd be pretty happy with the scenario falling the way it was because Icky's off the board. That would be the only other guy that makes this a debate in this situation. So I'm pretty comfortable that Kayvon Thibodeaux would be the pick here.
Okay. All right. I'm good with that as well because I think that Thibodeaux is certainly a top 5 player in this class. I think he deserves to go in the top 5. And you said it right there. If the Jets are cool with his character, as stupid as it says.
We have to say it every time.
Yeah, it's just dumb. But like, as long as that all checks out, you're gonna love the player. And him on one side, Carl Lawson on the other. That's a fun edge rush duo for the Jets.
Yeah.
Especially if Icky is on the board. If Icky is on the board, I'm gonna put the pressure on you. Do you still think they'd take Kayvon?
I have a weird feeling they would take Icky and try to get Jermaine at 10.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a weird feeling about that.
Okay.
But that might be that's a debate that could be going on this week. I think Joe Douglas, let's not do the I think thing. Joe Douglas would want Icky. The defensive coaching staff, which includes the head coach, Robert Saleh, would want Thibodeaux.
Right. Okay. All right.
Fascinating. It'd be a fly on the wall, man.
All right. Yeah, no, the many situations in this draft, I would love to be a fly. You know how teams every year they'll release that behind the scenes draft video. Those will be must watch this year more than any other year, because you're going to get those little nuggets where they're going to be sitting there in the war room saying okay, we're on the clock here. It's between these 3 guys. Which one do you want? And people are gonna be like, wait, it's between those 3 guys? And those are I'm always so fascinated, not just with the picks that happen. I'm always fascinated by the picks that don't happen, that almost happened. What if this team actually went this way instead, and this guy was on their board and they almost did it? I think this year's gonna be a fan.
I always think of one scene in those, and it was the Bills behind the scenes footage years ago when the Panthers traded ahead of them in the 2nd round, and everybody in the Bills war room was so defeated because they thought the Bills were getting jumped for someone they really liked, and the Bills took Greg Little. I mean, the Panthers took Greg Little, and the Bills war room exploded in celebration. And I was laughing so hard, and then sure enough, we saw Greg Little's career went in Carolina. That's what I always think of with those. I don't know why.
Those moments, man. Those moments are so crazy to think about, what almost happened with these teams.
Yeah.
And, what was on the board for them. So I hope we get a lot of really good footage there from those teams. Number 5 overall, we've got the New York Giants here.
Feels easy. I say that. I know there's a lot of Charles Cross steam right now. I still think it's Evan Neal.
You think it's Evan Neal?
I do. I just think the comfort of him at right tackle across from Andrew Thomas is kind of this makes too much sense to not do it in my eyes.
I think it makes a lot of sense because Neal's background and versatility. He's already played right tackle. He's already showed that. So, I think that if you are somebody who watches a lot of SEC football and you're telling yourself that one team in the NFL is going to have Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, and you've been watching for the last 2-3 years, you're basically okay, those are 2 of the best offensive tackles from the best conference in America. That's pretty great. So I do think there is a lot of steam for Charles Cross, but I also could see the Charles Cross love coming from a place of believing that Evan Neal might have already been off the board.
I think that's exactly it, Trevor. It's almost like you're trying to sell yourself on the next thing because you're preparing for the worst.
So let's go Evan Neal. Let's go Evan Neal at number 5. That puts the Carolina Panthers up at number 6. It is a what we think will happen mock draft.
Oh, man. This is brutal, right? I am...
Sure.
Obviously, they would love to get out of this pick so they can eventually sell a quarterback selection elsewhere rather than 6. I don't know who the hell is coming into this pick and what. The only thing I can think of is somebody really likes Charles Cross that much, or somebody really feels the need to get past Atlanta for a Garrett Wilson kind of player, or Jameson Williams. But that would really shock me because he's hurt.
Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee that Atlanta's even picking a wide receiver,
No, I'm telling you, that's why I'm saying, who the hell's coming into this pick and why? The Saints?
I mean, the Saints, but that's an interdivision trade, and that would be...
ruled out,
That would be silly for...
Is Howie just going to go full crazy? and the Eagles come up.
I mean, it almost helps both teams, right? But
yeah. Because Pickett should be there at 15. And Howie's not going to have to trade 15 and 18 to go up to 6 in a bad top 10.
I don't think Philadelphia wants to trade up, though.
I don't think so either. I'm just trying to find a
right. No, I'm with you. We're working through it right now. We're in the trenches. We're in the thick of it right now.
Like, I know everybody keeps saying there's no way Carolina takes Kenny Pickett at 6, but I'm like, okay. So you're telling me they're going to risk just going into next year with Sam Darnold? And
they can't. They quite literally cannot.
Careers, like, you're just killing your own career. I don't understand. Carolina's in a horrible spot. There's no other way to say it.
No. They're in an absolutely terrible spot. Dude, I think we should just pick Kenny Pickett.
I'm fine with that because I think that's what it comes down to, in a way that they have to just deal with the outside noise and hope Kenny comes in and riles people up and kicks ass. Like, I know people don't like this, and I get it. He's not even a top 30 player for me. I understand, but when you just look at the process so far, even if they take Malik isn't going to play this year probably, and then they're fired. That's my biggest worry with Carolina with the trade back thing. And that I wrote an article saying this is a trade that I would absolutely hate, and it's a trade back for Carolina, because what if Carolina even goes back to 9? Okay. Who's to say the Steelers aren't moving up to 8 with Atlanta, right? Or something like that. And it's so difficult to find a method in which Carolina comes out of this draft and you're happy about where they are. It's so difficult. It's hard. And what is the plan really, like, take Charles Cross, which I'd love, good pick, and then try to get Baker Mayfield into a Baker Mayfield Sam Darnold competition that's $40 million? I've never heard of something like that in my life.
I think we just got to pick Kenny Pickett.
Give Robbie Anderson on Instagram saying hell no.
Right.
Like, I know people laugh at it. But, like, are you kidding?
Didn't he say hell no twice? Didn't he say, like,
he commented multiple times. Like, you only respond to something twice if you're really passionate about it.
Yeah.
That's the rule. You never respond more than once.
That'd be tough. All right, I guess we're picking Kenny Pickett at 6.
I hope Carolina proves us wrong and, like, manipulates this draft and everyone's like, wow, they did it. But it's so hard.
The percentage of Carolina coming out of this draft with me having more faith in their franchise is so low. It's not 0, because you never know what's going to happen in the draft. But it is so low.
Here's one on the spot for you.
Yeah.
After 6, is their next pick over under 78?
Who, Carolina's?
Yeah.
Well, they don't have to pick till like 114, don't they?
137.
Yeah. Which is terrible. And that would make you think, hey, we've got to trade back to get at least something back in day 2, which is cool and great. Where are you trading back? How much are you risking here? Who is moving up? That's the thing. Who's moving up?
Maybe somebody, like, falls in love with Derek Stingley if Sauce is gone already.
My only real plan here for Carolina is if the Seahawks want to move from 9 to 6,
okay,
and give you number 41, because they have number 40 and 41, so you get 41 if you're Carolina and you're cool with that. And Seattle is moving to jump the Giants to get Sauce Gardner, because I think Sauce is going 7 at this point.
I would agree.
If Sauce doesn't go 3 at Houston, I think he's going either 5 or 7 to the New York Giants.
Man.
So that's the only way I think it would make sense for a trade back.
Because, like, I keep going back to this. I keep trying to find answers. And without not picking to 137, you can't even do the whole, hey, we'll take Sam Howell in round 2. And
no.
Like, there's none of that.
They're screwed.
Well, all right.
Kenny Pickett at 6.
Kenny Pickett at 6. And Stock exchange stamp.
And I think, God, don't do that to us. Do not put the stamp. Don't take the stamp off. Do it again. Use the time stone. Take the stamp off. We're not notarizing that. Number 7, the New York Giants. I think it's Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, me too. It makes so much sense.
I think Joe Schoen absolutely, without a doubt, wants to move back from 7. I think he wants to do what the Philadelphia Eagles did and take his extra first-round capital this year, especially with them picking so close together. You don't need to pick this close together. You really don't.
No.
Take 7, trade with somebody who's going to give you a first next year, and then just pick at some point a little bit later in the first round. I would say, Connor, that this is a great spot for the New Orleans Saints to come up and get Charles Cross.
I agree.
But the Saints just traded 2 first-round picks for this year. I think the Giants would have rather them have not do that. I think the Giants would have rather said, okay, we'll move back from 7 to 18 where they originally were, and you give us your first next year, and you give us, so you're going to have to throw something else into it. But
don't forget, and this is insane, but this is very real, the Giants have such little cap space that they would have to make like a significant move to be able to take on a 3rd first-rounder this year. That's how little cap space they have. That if they went out of 7 and got 16 and 19, they'd have to do something on their roster to fit that first-rounder's cap in.
You know what I think would be extremely sneaky is the Los Angeles Chargers moving from 17 up to 7 to go pick whoever the hell they want between Derek Stingley, Ahmad Gardner, Charles Cross, or any wide receiver they want.
That'd be nuts.
You're already all in. You traded for Khalil Mack. You signed J.C. Jackson. You brought back Mike Williams. You need to fill one spot on your offensive line, and it's a pivotal one at right tackle. You can maybe turn your wide receiver room into just an unbelievably elite room, or you can max out your secondary with another fantastic secondary pick.
Yeah, and that trade would be highlighted by 2023 capital because they don't pick till 79 after 17.
Right.
Which the Giants like. The Giants like that. So it makes a lot of sense.
Do we want to do that?
Oh man, are we going to do trades?
Should we do trades? It's realistic. It's what we think is going to happen. Or do you want to sit? I
say we put them in there hypothetically, but we'll sit. All right, so
board.
We'll talk. I really like that idea a lot.
All right.
So the Giants take Sauce, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's a great fit. He's such a good person to have when you're trying to relaunch a franchise. You walk out of the draft with Evan Neal and Sauce Gardner, and you're still picking again in the top 40. These are the kind of drafts the Giants have missed for a really long time.
Atlanta Falcons date?
Yeah, so fascinating team because, right, they're just really in this full rebuild kind of phase in my eyes. And you can argue Kyle Hamilton here. You can argue multiple wide receivers here. You can definitely argue Jamison Williams here because they are the one team that can kind of do the draft and stash and not be hurt by it in terms of, the seat getting hot.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Garrett Wilson is going to go before Jamison Williams. I know Jamison has had this massive amount of steam lately. Is there somebody you like that's not a receiver here, Trevor, for them? The way our board broke.
Malik Willis.
Oh man. I haven't heard a peep about that, but
I haven't really either, but I've heard quarterback a little bit as of late. And here's the thing, man, like I've talked about it on this podcast. They had the chance to pick both Justin Fields or Mac Jones last year. Now they got a really damn good player in Kyle Pitts. So, I mean, I know that they're happy with that. They also had Matt Ryan in a much different franchise scenario last year that they could lean on and say, we don't need one of these quarterbacks. We have Matt Ryan. Now they don't have Matt Ryan. Now they don't have anybody. They have Marcus Mariota, but he's not going to be the franchise guy. Them picking Malik Willis allows them to actually accept their fate, which is that they are in a massive rebuild at this point, and allows them to play Marcus Mariota next year, allows you to play Malik Willis the year after that.
I mean, I like the idea a lot. I don't think it's insane. I've for some reason have never played this one out in my head, to be honest with you, because they just keep kicking this quarterback can.
I think there's only so long that you could do it, right? And I feel like Matt Ryan leaving was this massive, like, oh boy, like now we might actually be in trouble here.
Well, and they missed Deshaun Watson, and that was so bold that it was like, it felt like kind of, now what do we do?
Right.
Which is scary.
I I would say Malik Willis, man.
Okay. Let's do it.
I would say Malik Willis. I think that there is a real chance that this happens. And it does make sense for Atlanta, which I don't think is really going anywhere with it. They could go with so many different positions, but I think they feel like the quarterback pressure is on here with them. So.
Yeah, and they're probably a team that they're in such a bad spot. If somebody wanted to come up for their wide receiver of choice with the Jets and Commanders lurking, they can get out of this pick probably. But in this sake, we're not going to do the trade, so we'll go with Malik Willis.
Seahawks at 9. We got Charles Cross here. We got Derek Stingley here. We got Kyle Hamilton here. Jameson Williams. George Karlaftis. I mean, like, everybody's still here. What do you think, Stingley?
I kind of think Stingley. Right, I think they're a team that needs a corner. I don't think they value I know they need a tackle, and everybody's like Cross on the board. I don't think they value Cross at 9.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
All right.
I know people are going to be like, what the hell? They haven't brought back Dwayne Brown. How do you not take Charles Cross? I don't see them taking Cross at 9. We'll see. I think I go with Stingley here.
Okay. Jets at 10. So you had them taking Kayvon Thibodeau at 4. Who are they taking at 10?
Wow, this is pretty tricky, right? I've done the Drake London thing so many freaking times.
But do you think it happens? Because if you think it happens, we'll do it again.
I do, because I usually don't have Garrett Wilson here. I don't think it's Jameson Williams, just to rule that out. I know that's been really hot lately for the Jets at 10.
Okay. All right.
I think it's between Drake London and Garrett Wilson.
Why don't you think it's Jameson?
Because if they start out 1-6 and he's not even on the field, they're going to get fired, and they barely got to see their first round pick play. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's politics of the NFL. You know, think about what Jameson Williams does best, right? Jameson Williams is a vertical threat.
Right.
The number one thing that you need to build timing and chemistry with vertical threats. You do that throughout an entire summer and usually the first month of a season.
He's preaching.
Jameson Williams comes back, what, Halloween at best? Is he just firing on all cylinders with Zach Wilson?
Scary hours.
As a spam risk calls me. Not now. It's the most important week of the year. Are you kidding?
All right. So, look, you have been pounding the table saying that it's Drake London. And
I will stay with that. Okay. But I just wanted to open the door that we usually don't have this scenario that Garrett Wilson's there.
I don't know if Garrett Wilson's going that high, man. Like, I think Garrett Wilson's going to be on the board at 10.
Okay.
I think he is.
I still will stick with Drake London because of the fit with Zach Wilson, and they don't have a player like Drake London.
All right. So we've got the Washington Commanders now up at 11. Wide receivers still certainly in play for all of them. Jameson Williams is there. You mentioned Garrett Wilson is there. Kyle Hamilton's there. I'm kind of leaning Hamilton, honestly.
Me too.
I think that's the guy that they would want.
I think so too. When you think of Ron Rivera, that's the player you would think, oh, he's going to fall in love with him.
Yeah.
So I think Kyle Hamilton in that spot. And then Washington will look later in the draft to still get a wide receiver across from Terry McLaurin because they pick at 47.
Okay. All right. So that's their next pick there. Minnesota Vikings at 12.
Good Lord. One of the tougher ones, right? Probably Jermaine Johnson, but I wouldn't rule out Trent McDuffie. Tricky, right? Is there somebody you like in this spot that we haven't really thought of in this scenario?
No, and I mean, I like Jermaine Johnson here, but they've got Za'Darius and they still have Danielle Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have no corners outside of Pat Pete.
I think Trent. And Zimmer's gone. Like, Zimmer would never take Trent McDuffie.
They already spent the money in pass rush.
Yep.
And they didn't trade Danielle Hunter. I think corner's the way they want to go. I'm always torn. Do I think that Kwesi is going to draft a non-Uber athlete, smaller corner?
Yeah, like with 1 percentile arm length.
Yeah,
but pretty rare. But I do think he's going to be this weird exception.
No, don't get me wrong. Like, I love Trent McDuffie. Like, I think he's going to be a great football player.
But we look at it as the NFL love Trent McDuffie. That's what we always say on this show.
Right. And Kwesi obviously talked about how much he has grown his background in like the true like scouting side of things. And, everybody loves to harp on his analytics background, but how much that he's like, look, yes, we use analytics and we're going to be analytics driven, but there's also going to be a lot of scouting side, a lot of quote unquote football guys, way to look at these things. Let's go with McDuffie.
Let's go McDuffie. I do think the league is higher on him than the media.
Okay. All right. Houston Texans at 13. I think this is also a big time trade back spot. We're not doing trades here, but I think this is a big time trade back spot. If I learned anything from Nick Caserio's pre-draft press conference, it's that I don't think he likes this draft, man. I don't think he likes it.
Does he like anything though?
I mean, right. He comes from this philosophy that's so funny. He's like, yeah, the draft's a crapshoot. Yeah, like nobody, nobody really knows what they're doing.
Can I just say that's total BS?
From him, or just from everybody.
Everybody it drives me. I think it's become my biggest pet peeve. There's volatility to the draft. It's not a crapshoot. If you had somebody draft that has never followed football in their life, their hit rate would be significantly lower than somebody that is good at this. That's what crapshoot to me. You're talking down to your own profession, Nick Caserio.
He talked about how having more darts to throw at the dartboard is point. Just always better. He talked about that.
Darts isn't a crapshoot. I play darts all the time. There's good people and there's really crappy people.
We're just calling them out straight on the podcast. 13. They went with Ike Ekwonu at 3.
2 players in this spot that I think are in play.
Let's hear it.
Karlaftis and Garrett Wilson. And the Garrett Wilson thing I heard pretty recently.
You think they really like Garrett Wilson?
When we talked to John McClain, I was like, no shot this team takes a wide receiver in the first round, especially where Nick Caserio comes from.
Yeah.
I don't think they would do it at 3. Now that they're picking at 13, the way this draft that he clearly hates is falling apart, I think they would consider that because there's no lock that he's here because he's such a nice high floor skill talent. But Karlaftis, I think, would be in play. And then after that, I don't really feel very confident about the rest of the group on the board.
I'm pretty confident with Karlaftis here at 13.
They need a lot of help on defense.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident with Karlaftis.
All right, let's go Karlaftis.
Okay, Ravens at 14.
Pretty easy, right?
Which Georgia player do you want? Oh, you want Jermaine.
I think that's what they would look for, as much as I put Jordan Davis here every single time.
Yeah. Okay.
We obviously had on Jeff Zarebic, who went with Jermaine and made some really nice points.
No, he said that if Jermaine makes it to him, that they'd good chance they'd absolutely love him. I don't know if in that scenario that Jordan Davis would trump it though, because we had Jordan Davis go off the board at 8.
That's true. That is true. Jordan Davis just looks like he was meant to be a Baltimore Raven.
Yeah, which is kind of why I want to pick him for Baltimore.
Let's do it. Okay. Let's do it.
All right, let's go Jordan Davis here at Baltimore. Again, we've talked about this multiple times. I find it so hard to believe that the NFL is going to pick 13 people over Jordan Davis, but every time we go through this logical exercise, I struggle to find where exactly that I'm placing him above this, but I think at 14, I think it obviously makes a lot of sense for them.
Yeah, there's our football argument for Jordan Davis at 14. Not me saying he looks like he should wear purple and black.
The Ravens, more than any other team, it's like if you mock draft any defender to them,
oh, it's beautiful.
You say to yourself, oh man, yeah, that guy looks like a Raven.
Yeah, he's a Raven.
That guy would look good in purple and black. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why.
True.
I don't know why it is just such a thing for the Baltimore Ravens. You just any first round defender at all that makes sense whatsoever. You just go, damn, yeah,
it's brutal.
That's a Baltimore Raven.
15. I think we both see eye to eye on this one, right? Are you thinking Jameson Williams?
It has to be Jameson Williams.
Yeah, it has to be. I actually think Howie will explore coming up for him. I don't know if they'll be able to do it, but
I don't know how much they would want to give up because
that's what I mean.
Eagles future picks. I'm looking at what they have.
They're sitting real nice.
No, I know they're sitting pretty, but they have 2 first-round picks this year. Obviously, they've got 2/3, a second, a fourth, 3/5. So Next year they have 2 1s. I guess if they're moving up, they're probably going to be like, okay, we're either going to give you 2 of our 3rd round picks, depending on how far they're going up. They're probably looking to move their 3rd round picks and their 5th round picks. They're probably not looking to move much of next year. It's not like they're going to move one of their ones next year. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Howie likes having multiple pick control on day 1 of the NFL draft, and he's not going to lose that if he doesn't have to. So.
I think they have 11 picks this year. They're not coming in with 11 rookie class.
you got to trade some of those. But he'll trade some of them to next year. You know? So they also are going to have
a ton of picks again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I look at them. I mean, they got Jameson anyway in this scenario, so we're just trying to get the players right.
All right, so
16 Saints, I mean,
Charles
the way
Cross,
this fell,
easy.
Charles Cross, easy.
No question. They would trade up for an offensive tackle, I think.
Yes.
If they really
I don't know if they would take this risk, but it worked out for them anyway. The Chargers become very interesting here because McDuffie, Stingley, Sauce are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Cross just went.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Olave or Garrett Wilson.
It's one of those two, I think.
I don't think Garrett Wilson will be here, so I would think Olave, but that's not how we're doing this mock draft.
Right. I don't know, man.
You never know. I said that about CeeDee Lamb, and he fell to 17.
Right. Like, I don't think Garrett Wilson's going super high. Like, not that I think he's a bad football player. I don't at all whatsoever, but I just don't think he's going that high.
I'll say this, Trevor, and I haven't said this on the show. Teams are really blown away by him when they sit down and talk to him compared to a lot of the other receivers in this class.
Wilson?
Yeah. And I know it's something that we don't really get to experience a lot, but obviously there's so many schemes where you have to be so smart as a wide receiver because there's so much going on in the offense.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the guy I always get the feedback. Oh, he's the guy. Like, we can ask anything of him. He's ready. He absorbs it right now. He's so polished coming out of there, and he's ready to take on more. Where I don't get that with the other guys, which is interesting.
Okay. All right. We'll go Garrett Wilson here then. Let's go Garrett Wilson. Because I'm saying to myself, I like Olave as the potential deep threat for this offense, but I mean, Garrett Wilson can do it too. He's got the speed.
Yeah.
He allows you to do it. Now, I think that Olave is more natural at it. Yep. I think he's done it longer. I think he's clearly been that consistent deep threat, whether he was a sophomore, a junior, or a senior at Ohio State. So he has a lot of reps doing that, but I think Garrett Wilson showed that he's got the speed to be able to do it too, and Brandon Staley will certainly love an extremely smart and instinctual football player. So we'll go Garrett Wilson at 17 for the Chargers, but I think attacking that other wide receiver position, just giving Justin Herbert another incredible wide receiver to throw to, that can't hurt, which puts the Eagles back up on the clock at 18. Then with Jameson Williams at 15, Devontae Wyatt?
I don't think Wyatt's going in the top 20. But I don't know what the hell else they'll do because the corners are. You know what? I do have a sneaky one here. I think Dax Hill is in play here.
Do you think that?
Yes.
Or would you like that?
No, I think that.
Because we will talk about this on tomorrow's episode when we go through our big boards.
Oh, I would love it. But I also
love Dax Hill.
Yeah, I think he's in play here with the 3 corners and Hamilton gone.
Okay.
Because logic tells you that like Devin Lloyd seems like a no-brainer here, but they will not do it.
No.
Devontae Wyatt, I just get a sense that he's been mocked a little higher than where he's going.
Okay.
The age, the breakout, we'll see.
Yeah, the age is an interesting part of it for sure. For sure.
It's tough to get a read on how high Andrew Booth and Kyer Elam can go.
I'm trying to remember far back Eagles draft pick history. Like, do they prioritize corners?
I think they usually take them in the second round.
DB fourth round.
They did trade a lot for Slay.
DB fourth round. They had Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas go second round, third round in 2017, but other than that, they haven't picked one before the 4th round. That's kind of crazy.
It is, but and they traded a 3rd and 5th for Slay. That's not too bad. They had to pay him. That's why it was cheap. It's interesting.
I don't know if they're going to pick a defensive back then.
Who the hell are they going to take though on the defensive line in this spot? I guess Wyatt, but I don't think he's going as high as he's been mocked. He can still go in the 1st round. Top 20 is pretty rich, but we'll see.
I would like the Dax Hill fit. I just don't know if that's going to happen. You know?
Yeah. Oh, he could do anything for them.
Who? I mean, he'd be fantastic for them, man.
He's your Swiss Army knife of coverage.
Okay, we had the discussion here.
I talked you into it.
No, I mean, like we had the discussion. So we're throwing it all out for people to kind of analyze that. I think that we would love to give them a corner here.
I would love McDuffie here.
I mean, your offensive line is fine. I don't think they're taking an offensive lineman that high. Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, Josh Sweat.
Hassan Reddick.
Paid
him a lot of money.
Yeah, they just signed him to a lot of money. God, they got Kaiser White and TJ Edwards at linebacker. Can you please, for the love of God,
take Devin Lloyd?
Pick a linebacker.
Take the Kobe Dean. I don't care. Care. Just take one.
Jeez, man.
Grow up, Howie.
Grow up. All right. We should... Dax Hill, fine. I don't. I hate it here. Saints at 19. I think this is an Olave spot, right?
I think so. I think this is such an easy pick.
Okay.
Yeah. After that disaster previously, it's good to have something that makes a lot of sense.
We went pretty easy there. Okay, so offensive tackle on the board for the Pittsburgh Steelers at 20.
It's probably Penning, right?
This is probably Penning. Yeah, I would think that
Penning's floor. Hell of a floor to have for a FCS tackle that was not very good, but
man, yeah,
good for him, man. Good if you can get it.
Listen, we'll talk about that tomorrow when we do the big board and we go over the rankings. But Patriots at 21.
Devin Lloyd. I agree with what Evan Lazar said on the guest mock.
Okay.
Now, if we want
anybody else who's like glaringly still there,
no. If they are that jacked up about corner, Kyrie Elam's in play. It gets thin quick. I agree with Evan also that I don't think they're going to take Zion Johnson this early.
What is their corner? Isn't their corner group butt?
Oh, dude, they lost J.C. Jackson. It's awful.
Malcolm Butler, Jalen Mills, John Jones, who they like, Jonathan Jones.
It's pretty bad.
It's not good. Hey, they have Sean Wade though. They also obviously they've got Jabril Peppers.
We've been extra,
well, because Bill just makes Bill makes it work. Belichick just makes it work. I have to sit here and look at this depth chart and be like, how is this team going to win football games? And then Bill Belichick just does. I mean, he's the GOAT for a reason. He knows he's forgotten more about football than I could ever possibly know. So linebacker, I think, is something that they need. When did they trade for Mack Wilson, or did Mack get cut?
I think they traded for him. They always have weird players on their roster that
he was traded in exchange for Chase Winovich.
Okay. That's a recent trade, yes.
That happened on March 16th. That's why I totally forgot that.
I love player for player trades that are not headliners.
Straight up. You just forgot that it happened.
We really don't want this guy anymore. Is there someone else you'll give us? It's the best part about the NFL.
All right, we'll go Devin Lloyd here. I think that makes the most sense, especially for them trading a player to acquire a linebacker. Like, unless they really like Mack Wilson, like unless they traded for him and were like, wow, we got to steal from this guy. To me, that says that they're in search for this kind of a linebacker that they hope is going to be the middle of their defense. So
they care so much about the linebacker position too.
Right.
Green Bay.
We've said this before. Normally, they go a lot heavier with their linebackers, but Devin Lloyd's not nearly as physical as they normally like to have their linebackers be, but it's kind of a different age at this point.
Yeah, he's still 6'3", 240, which the way the league's going, all these guys are playing like 230.
He doesn't play as aggressive as some of these other linebackers do. A lot of guys in this
class, though. It's just a lot of sideline to sideline kind of guys. Our Green Bay's at 22.
If you're Leo Chenal, you're just out here looking to eat, baby. You're just
smashing whatever in front of you.
Okay, so Green Bay at 22.
So to me, this is where Devontae Wyatt starts to come into play. Obviously, they need a wide receiver. Every time we do this, it never breaks right for them unless they like Traylon Burks. Pete Bukowski on the guest mock had Traylon Burks going there. Justice Mosqueda at 28 did not like that fit at all. So Packers, Cheesehead Nation is torn on wide receiver right now.
What if they want? Oh, what if they went Jermaine Johnson? Jermaine's.
Oh my God, he's still there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. That would be it if
Right?
he fell. If he fell. Once upon a time, this was where Jermaine Johnson's draft place started.
Right.
We have lost that. But I don't feel bad about this because I don't really think New England I don't think the Steelers or Saints necessarily take him.
Saints might.
I do think he goes earlier than this in the draft, obviously. This just played out differently than what we're accustomed to. I would go Jermaine here.
You think?
Yes.
I'm looking at the depth chart now because I know they got Rashawn.
Oh, they're
Gary,
looking for pass rush help even after what they got.
But they definitely need some extra pass rush help as well. And I think Jermaine's strong enough to where you can get versatile with him.
Absolutely.
You can play him a little bit inside.
He's got some of the best hands in the draft.
Okay, let's go Jermaine Johnson here. I think that this would be a good pick for him.
Is this our old Zion Johnson and move on?
Yay.
Cardinals fans definitely don't like this show anymore.
Alex Clancy said, you got to eat your vegetables, baby.
Yeah, Alex did. That actually made me feel better that we always do this. I mean,
I think that's the way you have to go.
if they go like off the rails with this pick and Zion's on the board, I can't help Arizona.
Who else are you going to take?
You never know.
What do they want?
I mean, we said
Steve
this last
Keim's
year.
draft history is unbelievable, by the way. I'm not going to go on a rant. I just want you guys to Google it.
Yeah, that's it. Just Google it.
Just Google it.
Drafthistory.com.
Just
Arizona
Google it.
Cardinals.
Yep. And
Cowboys, Treylon Burks would go here.
have some fun. Yeah.
Jerry can't help himself.
He would.
Jerry can't help himself. Treylon Burks.
I was like, oh, but they need offensive line.
No.
You're right.
Treylon Burks would go there.
Do we dare?
I think we do. I think we're going to do
25.
it.
Do we dare?
Yeah, I think we're going to do it.
Oh, Bills fans are going to hate us, dude.
Yeah, I know. Unless you want to go with Devontae Wyatt here. I think Ed Oliver's coming up in free agency. I know they signed some guys.
Well, they don't have. Yeah, they don't have a lot of interior defensive linemen. I think that are there.
Not for the next 2 years. Really, just this 1 year. They have Daquan Jones.
No. They brought back. No. They signed Daquan Jones. I always think that they need interior defensive line, but they've got Ed Oliver. They signed Daquan Jones. They signed Jordan Phillips. They signed Tim Settle. They've got AJ Epinesa. They have Greg Rousseau, signed Von Miller, have Boogie Basham, signed Shaq Lawson again. This is not a defensive line pick, I don't think.
Man, none of that moved the needle for me.
Right. I know it doesn't move the needle, but that's so much capital invested into that.
Yeah, a lot of it's short term, but I get it.
But you're already like, okay, so Devontae Wyatt, I think he's good enough to where you could certainly play him anywhere from a nose to a 3-tech, but he does his best work as a 3-tech, right?
Yep, absolutely.
You can't play Ed Oliver anywhere else. He's too small.
No.
So I don't think I don't think we could pick Devontae Wyatt.
It almost makes you think they would actually go Travis Jones instead of Devontae Wyatt.
If they were going defensive line, it'd make a lot more sense there.
Which we are probably not doing here.
No.
I think it's Brees, man. They were going to take ETN last year.
Bro, just go get a corner, please. Yeah, you're right. They were. You're right.
Sorry, Bills fans. I know you don't like it.
All right, Brees Hall. Brees Hall, 25. 26, Tennessee Titans.
I really think Tyler Smith.
Yep.
Yeah, I really do. And I like it. I like it a lot.
Never been a great... Wait, Kenyon Green is still there.
Oh, okay. Kenyon Green did fall a little bit here because we usually have him to Dallas and Treylon fell.
All right.
Okay.
Tyler Smith is your guy.
I know. Tehran had Kenyon Green in the guest mock.
He did.
Tyler Smith did visit there as well. I think Tyler Smith's the guy that like Vrabel's going to look at
you think
and be like...
You think he ate the Nashville hot chicken? Or no? You think he was scared?
Oh, no, he can handle it. Look at the size of that lad, dude. He could handle it.
Yeah, size don't mean anything about handling spice. Let me tell you, brother.
That's true. That is a very, very good point.
I'll pick whoever could eat more Nashville hot chicken.
I'll go Tyler Smith.
Okay, let's stick with Tyler Smith here.
He has a chance to play tackle at the next level. Kenyon Green, in my opinion, does not.
No, I think the Kenyon Green is he's more of an interior offensive lineman.
Yeah, and I've been trying to drive the train. Tyler Smith is going earlier than people think. Bucks 27, Trevor, please take the floor. This is like the worst pick to make in every mock draft.
So John Ledyard, we had him on for the guest mock draft series, and he did a really good job outlining what he thinks their potential options are going to be. If all of these guys are on the board, which not all of them are, Dax Hill, Devontae Wyatt, Lewis Cine. He mentioned Trey McBride in the tight end position as well.
Yep, he did.
And then some interior offensive linemen.
You don't think Kenyon Green goes here, right?
I don't know if he's. Let's see if he visited the Bucs, because I haven't even looked this up.
If I know Todd Bowles, he just loves collecting safeties. Like
he does. He
just loves collecting safeties and does a great job developing them. So no hate to Todd.
I think that I don't think he visited the Bucs. I don't know. I don't have a good list in front of me right now. I don't think that would be a bad pick, but if we're doing a predictive mock, I think that it's much more likely for it to be like a Lewis Cine.
I do too.
Let's go Lewis Cine.
I think Cine could just be a box monster for
Lewis
them
Cine
this year.
is also the exact kind of safety secondary player that I think Todd Bowles would freaking love.
Absolutely.
So let's go Lewis Cine at 27.
Yeah.
28 for the Packers. Jermaine Johnson with pick at 22.
Pickens?
I don't think Pickens goes in the first round, man.
Okay.
I think it's a sin. I think people are doing it wrong. I think he should, but I don't think he does.
Well, I don't think Sky Moore does. I'll say that.
I don't think so. I feel like Sky Moore could.
Okay, they're not going to take a small wide receiver.
There's no way they're going to take, to quote Ben Solak, a small, as he likes to reference guys picking players of lower size. Devontae Wyatt's still here, but we already picked the defensive lineman. Bernard Raymond is still here.
I'm also not of the belief that they 100% come out of round one with a wide receiver. No matter what everybody says.
Just getting absolutely nuclear with it. Is there a...
Nuclear. Kenyon Green? I think this would be Kenyon Green.
Yeah. I don't mind it.
I mean, or I wouldn't entirely rule out Bernard Raymond.
Let's go Kenyon Green. I think Kenyon Green's going to be higher on teams draft.
He's the more plug and play guy for this offensive line. For sure.
And he gives you that same kind of versatility that Elgin Jenkins does. And the Packers have seen firsthand how valuable that is. And you get another player who has that kind of versatility for you. I think that's right in the Packers wheelhouse. So no wide receiver. Sorry. Don't know what to tell you. You got better in both trenches, and you can draft a wide receiver on day two. Packers.
Yep.
29, Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, you already said Pickens isn't going in round one.
I just don't think he's. I don't think he's going in round one.
Crazy take.
Andrew Booth, I think, probably could be one of these picks.
Yep.
And do we want it just like David Ojabo? We consistently do that.
I think we love it.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Ojabo or Ibukady, whatever one. Do you want the guy that could play now, or do you want the guy that could be better in the future?
I think they'd rather pick the guy who could be better in the future. So I think they'd pick Ojabo. But Ebiketie is on the board. I like that you gave that a shout out. That's good. That's good there. Bengals at 31.
So what was our back-to-back with Kansas City? We did Booth, right?
Yeah.
So we went Booth,
Ojabo,
and then Ojabo, which is that's a good boost for that Kansas City defense.
It's nice. It's nice.
Okay, so the Bengals, Joe Goodberry went Kyer Elam on the pod. I liked that a lot. I think they need to be thinking corner long term.
I think that's also. I think that's probably the pick for me.
I think so too. The only other one I could see. No, that's the one that makes the most sense.
Linderbaum's there, but I think they pick a corner over.
I still don't think Linderbaum's going in the first round.
Okay, all right. So we got.
Can't believe we got 31 with that. Kyer Elam, let's close this thing out, dude.
Recent rumblings have been Sam Howell at 32 or 34 for the Lions.
Oh, we are going to do teams that did not pick in the first round. Do not turn off the podcast.
I was a terrible host.
The podcast
at the top. So
yes, do not turn off the podcast. Okay, the Lions at 32. So Jeff Risden telling us that they like their linebackers, like flipped my Lions draft world upside down. Because I don't like their linebackers, but I believe Jeff.
Yeah, no, I think that they do like their linebackers. If there was a corner here, I feel like they might be tempted.
Brisker makes a lot of sense.
Brisker does make sense for them. However,
Sky Moore could make it here.
Did you hear what I said? The steam lately is 32-34 Sam Howell at one of those picks.
Well,
if you pick him at 32, you get the fifth-year option. Yeah.
And he's not playing this year because they like Jared Goff. So you keep the fifth-year option.
Right.
Wow, Sammy Howell back in the first round. He appeared there May of 2021, and he ends there in April of 2022.
Let's do it.
Good for Sam Howell.
Let's go Sam Howell. As Connor mentioned, we are going to get to the teams that do not have first-round picks because we love you all, and we have not done a good enough job of highlighting you guys over the last month and a half. But we'll be better.
We'll try to be better.
Starting this week, starting with the final mock draft. Chicago Bears at 39. You're gonna have an offensive line need, corner need, wide receiver need.
I like Bernard Raymond here consistently.
Yeah, sure. If he makes it there, I like Bernard Raymond.
I like Bernard Raymond in that spot. I think it's the right value for him.
Sure. I like that.
I don't really see a lot of their needs just staring them in the face here.
No. I would love a Roger McCreary pick if they want a corner because I'm a lot higher on Roger McCreary, so I think those are options. We can go
Big board show tomorrow is going to be fun.
Yes, it is. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Little teaser, but I mean, here's the thing, Trevor. Like, are they going to give Justin Fields a shot this year? If you are lads, their roster.
Let's do it right now.
The offense is unbelievably bad. Maybe that's a stretch. Maybe not unbelievably bad, especially if Fields has a good year in his own right, that he makes plays on his own.
Dude, I was watching Jeremy Ruckert for my final big board and going back to last year, and I was watching some Justin Fields throws, and his kid's so talented.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is so good, man.
There's just not much around him.
He is so good. They have Equiminius St. Brown, so watch your mouth.
I do like me some Darnell Mooney.
They have Darnell Mooney. Their starting slot right now is Byron Pringle. Not ideal.
Pringle.
Daz Newsom's also on the team.
Yes, he is.
Their offensive line, Tevin Jenkins, Cody Whitehair, Patrick Lucas, Dakota Dozier, Larry Borum.
That's not good at all in any spot. Even if Tevin Jenkins needs to make a massive second-year leap for this thing to have a shot.
Yeah. Yikes.
Raymond would be my pick.
Yeah, let's go away. Yeah, something along the offensive line. Let's help Justin Fields out somehow, some way. Browns at 44, I think is the next one. I'm going to make sure.
Colts at 42.
Oh, Colts at 42. Okay, who you got for the Colts at 42?
Yes, Colts at 42. Colts at 42 would have been great for Raymond. They need a tackle really badly. I think they trade up or explore trading up when all is said and done. They don't get to here. Man, it's ugly for them, honestly. It's really ugly for them.
They need a corner, right?
They need a corner. They need another wide receiver. I don't think they'd take wide receiver this early.
Sky Moore, dude.
You think he's there at 42?
No, probably not. Yeah, you're right.
George Pickens might be there. That'd be diabolical. That'd be fun. Matty Ice to George Pickens.
I don't think they're gonna pick George Pickens, right?
I don't think so either.
Because they've already got their ex. They already have Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
So I just don't. Maybe they would. That's why Sky Moore would be perfect for me. But you're right. I don't think he's gonna make it.
So corners. It's not very pretty. Like, is Kyler Gordon going to make it to 42? Because I would like that for them.
I think Kyler Gordon could make it to 42.
That would be my pick.
I think one of him or McCreary will be there.
Yeah. So whatever one you like better in that spot.
Okay. All right. Okay. One of those two guys, one of those two corners. We'll have,
yep.
Who do you want to pick? You want to pick Kyler? You brought up Kyler.
Yeah, I'll take Gordon, but they're very close, as people will see on the much hyped big board show tomorrow.
The Cleveland Browns. I would draft George Pickens here, 100%.
Okay.
I draft George Pickens a lot earlier, but I think this is realistic for him to potentially go here.
And a little bit different than what they have, right?
Yeah.
In that wide receiver corpse.
They've got Amari Cooper. They have Donovan Peoples-Jones. They have Anthony Schwartz. But that's it.
Isn't it kind of weird that Jarvis Landry is just a free agent out there?
Yeah.
29 years old.
There's a couple really weird free agents, but yes. I believe Monday, so today. No. It's the Monday after the draft. The Monday after the draft is when you no longer go into the comp pick formula. So you're going to see a lot of people get signed after that. So 61, the San Francisco 49ers. That's the next pick here.
Okay.
60.
Safety.
Ooh.
There are a lot of Petrie's going to be gone. Brisker's going to be gone.
Ooh.
They need somebody that can play a nickel safety role. Now, obviously, the Niners draft is going to be flipped upside down if they get picks. If they trade Debo and get picks for him, that happens this week. We'll address it on the show. That'll be a hot topic.
Right.
Brian Cook. I know it seems a little early for him. He fits what they need. He's played a ton in the slot. He's played in the box. He's played free. I would circle him. And then if you get away from safety, what are you thinking for them?
Offensive line, maybe?
Dylan Parham?
Yeah.
Dylan Parham.
Or, what's it? Hold on. I'm looking up their depth chart to make sure that I have this correct. Okay,
yeah, they lost Lakin.
They still do have Alex Mack, but Alex Mack's old.
Yeah. They lost Lakin.
Like, I would like Cam Jurgens here. Do you think he'd make
Alex
it here?
Mack is 36 years old.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Do you think Cam Jurgens would make it here?
It's going to be close, but I wouldn't do like the whole he won't be here thing on the show right now.
The biggest issue with him is that I feel like he is center specific.
Very.
And I don't think Dylan Parham is nearly as center specific.
He can play guard.
So let's go Dylan Parham at 61. That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, that does make that's a good fit. Okay.
64 Denver Broncos for the first time.
64.
Happy Russell
They
Wilson.
need a right tackle.
There's so many teams that don't pick.
Oh, what is there?
First round.
Yeah, it's nuts. All right, so for the Broncos here,
corner need.
I'm thinking right tackle.
Okay.
I mean, it's not pretty. Billy Turner is their slated right tackle starter.
Not ideal.
It's not the best. Set at wide receiver, set in the back at running back early. Defense looks pretty great on paper right now. I don't worry about them at corner right now.
Okay. You think right tackle?
I think you need to get a right tackle in there. I would say Daniel Falele.
Ooh. Huge.
That's the one. I know the rankings are all over the place on him. You will hear tomorrow. Trev and I see eye to eye on big old Godzilla-looking Daniel Falele.
Don't make many of them that big. Okay, we'll go Daniel Falele there. 86 to the Raiders is the next one.
We're just soaring down this draft. 86.
Yeah, 86. A long way.
Speaking of needing a tackle.
God, what
Abraham Lucas is in this territory.
I guess, yeah.
I know it doesn't jack you up. I know. I understand.
But if you're going to take a chance on one, I like Max Mitchell, but I don't know if the NFL is going to take him nearly this high.
Yep, might be a smidge early for Max. Gottake's a guard at the next level, not a tackle.
Right.
Which they might still need. They need help on the offensive line. It's big right now for me. So unless if Leatherwood plays right tackle and Colton Miller plays left, I would take Gottake here to play guard.
All right.
I like him.
Cool with me.
Cool.
That works. Right. That works. I mean, we're talking about complete hypotheticals at 86. So yeah, I think that's a decent target for them. There. Okay. And then the other two that we have, 102 is the first Dolphins pick, and then 104 is the first Rams pick.
I would go Cole Strange or Zach Tom for the Dolphins here.
Yeah, I mean, if Cole Strange is there.
I don't think he will be, actually. I think he's going to be an early third-round pick after his RAS was like almost a 10. Insane.
Yeah, right. I don't think he's going to be there, but he's a great target. You like
think
Zach
Tom is here?
Yeah, I mean, this is the area for him. Sure.
Okay, my vote would be Zach Tom, but I would like to hear some Trevor fins up thoughts in this spot.
Let me look at their depth chart. I never really do a lot of. Okay, they got the wide receiver figured out. Obviously, they got Preston Williams, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Cedric Wilson.
Yeah, they traded Devontae Parker, so they weren't starving for receivers.
They need offensive line here, but
it's not good.
I mean, I'd pick Max Mitchell if he's there. This is probably much more around the range that you can take a risk on him.
Now
he gives you more athleticism than like a Liam Eichenberg does, and you maybe get to do what you want to do with Eichenberg and probably put him at guard.
So my only counter is, and I hate to be like the fucking, I can't believe I just did that, the numbers guy. Oops. We'll have to beep that out for
Sorry,
people driving with kids. Yeah, sorry, guys. Max Mitchell's RAS might deter them. They are such a, we need the best athletes in our scheme.
What was his RAS? Was it that
4.97?
That's not good.
It doesn't look like that on tape. I agree with what you said.
No, it doesn't.
I agree with what you said. That 809.3 cone is
yikes. Yeah,
it's not a zone. It's not a zone offensive lineman. And I know some people listening to this that might not love analytics as much as everyone else. They're like, well, who cares? It's what teams do with thresholds.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I like the idea, Trevor. I really do. It's my one thing I wonder.
Athletic than that, but I think
that's
so too. That's a good note. So we'll pick him. We'll go Max Mitchell there, but maybe they'll eliminate him off their board. I don't know. Los Angeles Rams at 1.
Final one, right?
Yep. 104. Last one.
I hope the Rams just take whoever the most exciting player on the board here is. And what I mean by that is just do something like the fastest wide receiver on the board, which would probably be SMU's Danny Gray, or something. I know that people are laughing, probably thinking of the Tutu Atwell pick. It's different than that.
That one didn't really work out, did it?
What are the Rams' true needs right now? Where you're like, they probably need another pass rusher, right? When they didn't get Vaughn back.
Yeah, I mean, they have Terrell Lewis from last year.
I think Odell's going to go back there. I don't worry about wide receiver with this team.
Okay. All right.
The offensive line, they lost Whitworth to retirement. You're not getting a plug-and-play lineman at pick 104.
You're absolutely not. I think they could use linebacker. I know they obviously have Bobby Wagner, but
you can get a starter at that position here.
What linebacker are you picking, though? Who's left? Let me look at the rankings.
Let's see.
Let's look at the rankings.
All the Georgia guys are going to be gone in the top 100, I think it's safe to say.
Probably, yeah. Think Troy Anderson would still be here? Or you think he's going higher?
No, he'll be gone.
I did not love Troy Anderson.
Hot and cold film. You're betting on the athlete, which I get at the position.
A lot. You're betting on the athlete a lot.
You are really betting.
Speaking of betting on the athlete.
Here's who I like in this spot for them.
Go ahead.
Malcolm Rodriguez from Oklahoma State.
I did not watch him.
Dude, you gotta sell me on him. If you could sneak one more player in before the draft.
Okay.
This dude, he's 5'11", and he just bangs in the middle of the field. Takes on contact, never gets lost in the traffic. Great tackler, great instincts, good enough athlete in the middle. Malcolm Rodriguez is going to be one of these third-round picks that just starts for 10 years, honestly.
Look, it's pick 104. You could basically convince me on anything at this point.
Badgering Trevor for random players.
It's pick 104 for the reigning Super Bowl champs.
The Rams fans out there will be passionate about this pick, which I respect.
Okay, well, now they're going to go look up a tape on your boy, which now I also have to do in the next 72 hours before we get to night one of the NFL draft. All right, folks.
He is awesome.
There it is, the final predictive mock draft. We included you guys who don't have first-round picks. Give you a little love, give you a little shout out there for some suggestions. Obviously, we talked through a lot. We talked through a lot of what could be with player selections, players who are prioritized, positions that are prioritized, potential trades, even though we weren't doing any here. I think there's just a lot to go over, man. Connor, you said this so many times before, and I agree with you. It might just turn into the Wild Wild West on Thursday, man. We could get, even if you get one or two picks that are whoa, in the top 10, whole first round's off the rails. And I think that we're going to have a good time, my guy, reacting to what is going to be revealed, what these teams have on their big boards.
It's going to be unbelievable. You run on adrenaline this week unlike any other. Obviously, Trevor and I will be doing live shows for the draft, but after that, in the wee hours of the night, we'll be doing the recap. So when you guys go to sleep, what is it, the Homer Simpson meme of him smiling with the hat on? You can wake up and you'll have Stock Exchange on your phone ready to go for the morning to carry you all the way to the day 2 of the NFL draft. So it's going to be amazing. It's so much to unpack. We're going to sit down and be where do we start?
That's the best part, man. That's always the best part.
I mean, probably the Panthers. Or I usually like to start on a really positive, this team killed it. They're going to be awesome in 2 years. But, I mean, I am excited to see how the Panthers navigate this crazy road. A million teams picking twice. This is unlike any draft we've done.
Yep.
Dude, can't wait.
Dude, it's going to be a blast. And everybody who knows the schedule of this show, we have shows that come out on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Well, it's draft week, which means you're getting shows on Monday, which is this one. Tuesday, which is the big board show, which tomorrow Connor and I are going to talk about our top 100 big boards. And we're going to go, well, Connor's got a lot more than I have that he was able to get narrowed down to. What is it, top 300? You got 300 guys?
315 is where I stopped. Yeah,
okay.
Really
so
happy, dude.
We're going to go over a lot of the big board stuff tomorrow. Talk about our player rankings, who we prioritize, who we think is going to be good in the league. Thursday is, we're kind of leaving it up in the air. It might be, honestly, we might open it up for it to be a Q&A, like have you guys ask us draft questions the morning of the draft, and we might just fire off some takes that way.
Maybe Debo will get traded. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe DK will get traded. Maybe
who knows?
AJ Brown will get
traded.
Maybe Tom Brady will own the Dolphins finally.
Oh my God.
And then after that, you'll have a pod on Friday morning recapping night 1, Saturday morning recapping night 2, and Sunday morning recapping day 3 of the NFL draft. So it is a jam-packed week. We are almost going daily podcasts, but it's because it's the most wonderful time of the year. It is draft week. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. We've got so much more great content for you throughout the week. We'll see you on Tuesday.